CNN had this whole problem, and it was because Trump broke them. I mean, he just spiritually, emotionally defeated CNN as an entity. That is, I think, beyond dispute at this point. Because to go against him, they decided that there were no rules, and they exposed themselves for everyone to see as abject partisan hacks. Okay. That is CNN destruction number one. CNN then tried to limp along and do a redo with this guy, Chris Licht, the big piece in the Atlantic, which if you want to know what B- students from northeastern lib schools and coastal universities, if you want to know what they read or pretend to read, it's the Atlantic. They read one article from it once a month, maybe, so they can say, I read the Atlantic. But I did read the Atlantic, so I'm admitting that to all of you, so I could read this article. And it was a big profile with a lot of access to the head of CNN. And what was interesting was that, first off, it makes clear CNN Destruction 2.0 was, you guessed it, Trump's town hall. The Trump town hall, they just lost their minds over there. Oh, the different anchors, they're all crying about it. And how could we have platformed them? And the fact that you had all these pro-Trump people in the audience and Caitlin Collins gets steamrolled and the whole thing. And so much so that Chris Licht, this guy who came over he was at Morning Joe, and then he was at the not the Colbert. What's the Late Show with Colbert, whatever that is, right? Stephen Colbert show. And then he moved over to take over CNN. It didn't last much more than a year. This is why he didn't last, though. I don't know this guy. I never talked to him. I talked to Jeff Zucker a bunch of times when I was over as a contributor at CNN before I realized they had all completely lost their minds and hated Republicans. And any Republican in the Trump era who still was going on CNN, I was like, you're just getting punched in the face. There's no point. The audience hates you. They're not listening. The anchors hate you. They all despise you. So I turned down a job at CNN without a job in TV because Trump had just won the election. They wanted me to stay around. And I said, no, I'd rather just do my own thing. Thank you. Because I was pro-Trump. I voted for him. I was so psyched that he had won. And I was like, I don't want to go on CNN so they can be like, so like explain to us like why you think that like voting for Hitler is not voting for Hitler. You know, I just didn't really need that in my day-to-day. But Chris Licht, this guy, ended up sounding not that crazy. Here's from the article. I think he's a lib, but he's not totally insane. He said, apparently, to CNN staff, do not virtue signal, tell the truth, ask questions getting at the truth, not collecting facts for one side or collecting facts for another side. Ask the tough questions. It's an incredibly sensitive, divisive issue of when there's a Venn diagram the country can agree on if we get there with the facts. Yeah. This guy is gone because he showed up at CNN and he was like, everybody knows that this place turned into a laughingstock and a partisan, clown show. Can we at least get back to some basic reality? And CNN, with its collective Biden voting, Hillary and Obama loving voice, shouted out, no! We shall not return to the facts, sir. You shall be fired. So that's what CNN did. And it's because of the Trump town hall. Two times CNN has fallen victim to the Trumpster. So that is what happened.